These hands can bend bamboo like grass, 10 times stronger than yours. And right now, their full strength is holding 4 pounds of sleeping sun. Meet the gentlest strongman in Africa. Dawn on the volcano slopes, 10,000 feet up. The family wakes in last night's nests. Mother stretching, the juvenile already causing trouble, and the king rumbling the morning register. First business of every gorilla morning, the grooming. The mother takes the baby onto her lap and begins the finger search, parting the wispy fur line by line. This is healthcare, not vanity. Mountain fur collects mites, ticks, biting flies and burrs, and a baby cannot clean an inch of himself. Her fingers are his entire immune front line. Then the king himself is served. The mother works the silver saddle he can never reach, and 400 pounds of muscle goes soft as a sleeping child. Breakfast is a 200-pound salad problem, solved daily. Wild celery peeled like bananas, nettles folded with a trick that beats every sting. The mountain feeds its kings in vegetables. And between the salads, the strangest course in the forest. The silverback selects rough, bristly leaves and swallows them whole. No chewing. Scientists who followed the evidence found the answer in what comes out the other end. The unchewed leaves scrape intestinal worms from the gut wall and carry them away. It is called zoopharmacognosy, animals prescribing their own medicine. The king has no doctor on the mountain. He has a pharmacy growing around his feet. The baby's classroom is his father's body. He climbs the silver mountain, slides down the great arms, uses the massive head as a lookout tower, and the strongest primate on earth holds still for all of it, adjusting his weight each time 4 pounds of sun changes position. Patience measured in tons. Midday, and the forest changes its voice. Branches crack downslope where no family member walks. The silverback rises off his knuckles, nostrils working, and the whole family reads his back like a weather report. Somewhere below, moving uphill through the nettle fields, is the one thing a silverback fears. Another silverback without a family, looking for one. What follows is war by theatre. Gorillas wrote the playbook. The king explodes sideways through the vegetation, tearing up plants, hurling branches, and detonates the drum roll heard a mile through the forest. The chest beat, cupped palms on air-filled chest, a machine gun of authority. Every beat says the same thing. I am healthy, I am enormous, and the price of my family is everything you have. 99% of gorilla conflicts end exactly here in the mathematics of the display. The challenger reads the king's speed, his volume, the size of the plants he tears, and computes the odds. Today the numbers say, wait, he melts back down the slope. But a lone silverback with nothing to lose is never gone. He is only rescheduling. And the fear goes where gorilla fear always goes, into grooming. The mother works the king's tense shoulders. The juvenile, for once serious, combs his father's great forearm. Even the baby pats clumsily at the silver saddle, doing his 4 pounds worth. Primatologists measured it in every great ape. Grooming, after conflict, lowers the heart rate of the whole family at once. The strongman is maintained by the smallest hands he protects. Count what the king provides and what he collects. He gives 200 pounds of wall between his family and every threat, the route to the best feeding slopes, the arbitration of every squabble. He collects groomed shoulders, warm bodies in the night nests, and a tiny heartbeat asleep on his chest. Biologists who tracked gorilla families found the ones with steady silverbacks raise nearly twice the surviving young. Strength is not the king's product, safety is. Afternoon is the juvenile's shift. Play school. He wrestles the baby with 1/10 of his strength, teaching balance and grip and the polite limits of biting. He drums his small chest in squeaky imitation of his father. And when the games go one tumble too far, one look from the silver mountain restores the constitution. In gorilla society, even the police work is gentle. But the mountain keeps its appointment. In the long gold of late afternoon, vegetation downslope opens again, and this time the lone silverback does not pause to negotiate. He comes through the nettle fields to run, done with mathematics, gambling everything on one charge at the king. And between him and the family stands exactly what has always stood there, 200 pounds of father. It lasts 11 seconds. The king absorbs the charge, twists, and uses the mountain itself, driving the challenger downslope where weight and gravity fight for the defender. One final shove sends the rival crashing through the nettles, and the roar that follows him down the volcano needs no translation. The lone silverback will heal and wander and try a smaller king another year. This family is closed. The family pours back to him, and the medical inspection begins before his breathing settles. The mother finds it on his forearm, a shallow scrape from the grapple, skin roughened where the rival's grip tore fur. She cleans it with her lips and fingers the way gorilla families have always closed their wounds. And the baby, copying medicine he does not understand, presses one tiny palm beside the scrape and holds it there. Somewhere in that touch, the next king is learning what strength is for. Dusk brings the day's great grooming, the whole family in one connected chain on the warm slope. The king's back is combed clean of battle debris. The mother's crown tuft is tidied by the juvenile. The baby is passed hand to hand and polished by everyone, and complains about none of it. An hour of fingers and rumbles, closing a day of war the way gorilla days always close, in maintenance and in touch. Then, the nightly construction hour. Every gorilla above infancy builds a fresh nest every single night, bending and weaving stems into a sprung green mattress, and never sleeps in the same bed twice. It is architecture and it is hygiene. Yesterday's nest holds yesterday's parasites. The juvenile's first attempts collapse under him twice. The third holds. On the mountain, even bedtime is a skill. Night wraps the volcano, and the family sleeps in its fresh-built village, mother and baby curled in one nest, the juvenile proud in his own first architecture, and the king in the lowest nest of all, downhill of everyone, because whatever climbs this slope tonight meets him first. 10,000 feet up, wrapped in mist and each other, the gentlest strongmen on earth trust the night to family. Dawn returns the ritual, fresh mist, fresh appetite, and the morning grooming running family-wide before the first celery is peeled. The king's scrape is inspected and pronounced healing. The baby is dusted, checked, and kissed on the crown by 3 sets of lips. On the mountain, the days are dangerous and the nights are cold, and this hour, every morning, is how a gorilla family answers both. And across the wild, the same truth wears 1,000 furs. Chimpanzees run grooming markets deeper than any bank. Baboons pay in massages to hold each other's babies. Lion prides close every day with tongues. Wolf packs with pack-wide licking rounds. Strip away the fangs and the sizes and the continents. And every animal society ever studied keeps the same books. Care given, care returned, care passed down. The wild does not run on strength, it runs on maintenance. In 12 years, the baby will carry his own silver saddle, and some gold evening on some slope, a rival will come through the nettles at a run, and he will plant himself in the path the way his father did. And afterwards, small fingers will clean his scrapes the way his mother's did. Nothing on this mountain is written down. Everything on this mountain is remembered hand to hand down all the silver generations. Fewer than 1,100 mountain gorillas remain on Earth, every one of them living exactly like this, building fresh beds nightly, swallowing their medicine whole, grooming their wars away, and holding their children in hands that could bend steel and never ever do. So the next time someone calls gorillas savage, tell them about the 11-second war and the hour of grooming that followed it. Strength is what the mountain gave them. Gentleness is what they built with it. A father who won a war in 11 seconds and then held still for an hour of tiny fingers. A family that builds its beds nightly, swallows its medicine whole, and grooms its fears away. That is the true strength of the mountain. If this story amazed you, subscribe to Nature's Cleaners, and we will keep uncovering the hidden partnerships that hold the wild together. Tonight, 4 fresh nests will rise on the slope, and the king will take the lowest one again, and a tiny heartbeat will sleep behind the strongest wall in Africa. One more silver kingdom, held together by the gentlest hands on earth. Thank you for